My bad. Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to HBCU Tonight. I'm your host, Doc Holliday. As always, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you are following the channel. Share it with folks and comment on it, because we got to get this thing going. But other than that, I appreciate everybody for rocking with us on a Friday night. It is Good Friday, y'all. It is Good Friday, and it is going to be a great Friday, going to be a great weekend. I hope everybody got to their premier destinations for Easter. Um, so, look, let's get up into it. What's going on, Uncle Sid? Let's get to it, y'all. Love what's been going on. Uh, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Also, I want to let everybody know on Monday, I will have a Monday afternoon, Monday midday show. Uh, and we will have Dr. Kiki Baker Barnes, who is the commissioner of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, which will be soon to be renamed and rebranded as the HBCU Athletic Conference coming in July. So she will be on the show on Monday morning at 11 a.m. So make sure y'all don't miss that out. That's the reason why I'm kind of a little bit late, because I've been talking. I've been basically doing backwater channels with my homie Miss Danielle, right? She is part of the marketing. She is part of the marketing strategy team for the GCAC. So I asked her, "Hey, can I interview the commissioner?" And asked if she want to be interviewed. She obligedly said yes, and hey, here we go. Here we go. So other than that, y'all, gonna get this good old commercial going and be right back. And this is also a word from my sponsor. It's your boy Doc Holliday. Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also, you can get birthday shoutouts on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal, David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle, David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards. Yo, it's your boy Doc Holliday with HBCU Overdrive, and I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically designed to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiast. All right, and we are back. And it is Friday. It is still March Madness going on right now. If you haven't watched it earlier, South Carolina is still undefeated. Still undefeated on the women's side. They took out Indiana. It was a close game. And I thought Dawn Staley about to have a good old fit with them. But other than that, we got Stanford and North Carolina State playing right now, which is a 4-point affair right now with Stanford in the lead. They are in the second quarter. I think it's 2 minutes and 44 seconds left in the game. I mean, in the halftime. Also, I think LSU with at Iowa they play. I think they play tomorrow in that region. Also, don't forget about Juju, Juju Watkins and the USC Lady Trojans. Also, you got UCLA. The Lady Bruins of UCLA is still up in that thing. So we got some games going on the men's side. Yesterday, had a couple of upsets yesterday. North Carolina gets taken out. North Carolina gets taken out, which is it's a shocker. I would say that it's a shocker to me. Uh, they got taken out yesterday. I'm trying to get the scores right now. Uh, by Alabama, losing by 89-87. And let everybody know Alabama is the highest scoring team in the country on the men's side. Also, uh, Arizona got clipped by Clemson 77-72. So Clemson moves on to the Elite Eight. UConn with a 30-point drubbing in a rematch from last year's national championship game against San Diego State, 82-52. And Iowa State season comes to an end against number 3 Illinois, 72-69. Right now in the that's something we're gonna have to talk about right there. We're gonna table it. We're gonna talk about that. Give me just a second on that discussion. All right. We got NC State is at halftime. They are playing here in the South Regional. They are here in Dallas. NC State is up 37-24 at halftime, and with 3 minutes left in the first half, Gonzaga and Purdue is battling out. They are tied at 33 apiece. Later on tonight, you got the number two seed Creighton. Tennessee taking on number 3 seed Creighton. That is the Midwest region late night slot, and on the late night slot for the South region would be number 1 seeded Houston versus number 4 seeded Duke, which is going to be a good game right there. So let's talk about it. Y'all. It is we got March Madness upon this. March Madness is still going on right now. We had the NAIA championship game that was on Tuesday, which was a phenomenal game, y'all. A very phenomenal game, but at the end, Langston did not pull it out. I wanted to throw everything at my TV, but I'm like, that's my only TV that I have, so I would not risk that. But shout out to Coach Chris Wright and the Langston Lions for having a very, very tremendous season this year. Cannot complain about it. 35-2. Still a 30-game win streak at home in the last 2 years. Overall, since in the last 2 years, this team has went 67-5. 67-5. Just think about that. And just think about that. When he got there, remember when he got to Langston, they were 1-27. He took over 1-2017 and led them to deep into the NAIA playoffs. one hell of a season this year. One hell of a season, and doing it at little old Langston University in Oklahoma, westernmost HBCU. So give a let's give a round of applause. Give a round of applause to Coach Wright and the Langston Lions. Um, One hell of a season. We were riding with you. Shout out to Norfolk State for winning the College Insider Tournament. That was on Wednesday night. So they won the tournament. Shout out to Coach Robert Jones and his crew for trying to make sure that HBCU basketball stays in it to win it. And also shout out to the Lady Aggies right there playing right now in the WNIT, and they are in the Sweet 16, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to check to see what that score is right now. It's in the third quarter. They're playing Troy. Troy is up by 65 to 59. And we're gonna talk about that, Zorda. We're gonna talk about that in a few, bro. We're gonna talk about that because I want to get that out the way. That's one of my discussions on the news and everything. But that's not what we're here for. We're gonna be here to talk about spring football is upon us. So now spring football is upon us, and mainly because mostly everybody here is Jackson State alum. It's mainly about Jackson State football. So we are coming into year number 2 in the TC Taylor era. First year head, him being a first year head coach, going 7-4. Second in the East Division, only behind Florida A&M. It was a trying time. It was a trying time as far as how the team was constructed. It was a trying time as far as we didn't have a lot to go about. But at the end of the day, a lot of prognosticators really had us going like 5-6, 4-7, 3-8. Some even had us going 2-9. I mean, most of those are haters, but it's neither here or there. But at the end of the day, TC ended his first campaign with a 7-4 record, 5-3 in the conference. It was 3 games. It was really 2 games that could have switched from 7-4 to 9 to from 7-4 to 9-2, 9-2. One of those games was the Alabama State game, which was homecoming, and y'all know we do not like losing at homecoming. And the other game was against Alcorn. And I can actually throw this other game in here. I can actually throw in the second half of the dang on Orange Blossom Classic between against Florida A&M. Now, the reason why I say those 3 games we could have went easily 10-1 or 9-2. Easily. Could have had that. One, special teams. Special teams was not as great. Special teams was one of our Achilles heel. Also, um, when it came down to punting, uh, yeah, people didn't know that we used. I think we used like four punters, either three or four punters just last season. Um, uh, Kickoff specialist. We had to take a young lady from the soccer team, even though she says football is in her blood, and she was out there to help the team. She is still on the team. Shout out to Leilani. Um, and our gaps and responsibilities when it came to kickoff and when it came to kickoffs and punt return, mainly on the kickoffs, we were abysmal when it came to uh, filling in the gaps, busting out wedges, um, trying to get to the ball carrier, to the returner was an issue. Tackling was an issue. So before we get into, let me stop right there before we get into the rest of that. So the date for Jackson State spring football is next Saturday. I'm about to say August, April the 6th. What up, CT? April the 6th, and I think the game is at 1, if I'm not mistaken, at the uh, Veterans Memorial Stadium. So uh, it is free to get into the game. So let people know that. Uh, make sure you read. Make sure you look at the forecast because last year we had an issue because it rained. But hopefully we shouldn't have any type of severe weather going through Jackson um, around the time when the spring game is upon us. Also, we're going to have quite a few uh, recruits come out to the spring game. Um, and I think after the game, I think we should be able come onto the field, and I think you should be able to take pictures with the players and stuff, talk to the players, and just mingle with the players. It's you know, make sure you show up and support the team. And it goes not just for Jackson State. It goes for anybody who has spring game next week. Anybody who has spring game on the 13th of April. Um, Also, I think and whoever has one on the 21st. Uh, Spring football had kicked off with Hampton. So Hampton had their spring game early. Um, I think early this month. So they want to get in and get out. They ain't trying to stay up in there. Uh, but other than that, um, if you are in town, go check out your uh, go check out your university. Go support. No matter if it's a rival or if it's your own university, go check them out. Support the people, support the guys. How you doing, Miss Veronica? Uh, but other than that, we're gonna go ahead and get to Jack State football. Uh, Hold on, let me read this. My boy Lowe says Texas Relays is tomorrow for high schools. Who you got in the 4x1, Tascasita or Duncanville? Whew. Do they got two teams? Uh, but I'm gonna go for Duncanville. The Corey and Caden and oh my God, them dudes is fast for high school. Uh, What it do, fam? My boy CT, representing Alcorn. Of course, Miss Veronica is up in here as always. She telling everybody, hey, and she gonna tell everybody donate $5 to the pot. Uh, Miss Mary is up in here. She tells everybody Happy Friday. And she's a FAMU rattler, and it's one of the only rattlers that I can tolerate. Got Miss Quay coming up in here, always saying hi and letting y'all know what the info is as far as for joining the channel, the membership payment, which now I do have two. I went down to one, so Quay, you can take off the $6.99. I went down to one, so it's $4.99 to join. It is Overdrive Purple, so it is only one now. Miss Shonda, how you doing? As always, my uncle, like I said, my uncle said, go Tigers. Rawr. And unstoppable. So yeah, got everybody up in here. Let's see what we got. We got 37 on YouTube, 16 on Twitter. My bad, X. So I ain't trying to get shadow banned by the Dark Lord Overlord Elon. What's happening, my boy Chris Dub, man? Hey, I gotta hit you up, man, cause bro, I've been I gave you numbers, so I'm gonna hit you up. I'm good now, cause I let everybody know I was battling tonsillitis this past week. I was off for 3 days. I didn't want to be off for 3 days. I had tonsillitis. Y'all. So I was feeling down bad. So I'm still taking antibiotics. So, but it's good to be back in the saddle. Boom. You over here trying to send me that recipe, Jay. And like Uncle said, make sure y'all support the channel and say get these memberships up. What EA said, no excuses. Tell them get the memberships up. This my other rattler homeboy right here. All right. And yeah, Miss Veronica, look, I didn't want to go to the doctor. I ain't trying to see the doctor, but I just know three people gonna be on my tail. That's my mama, that's my ex-wife with my youngest baby, and that's my oldest daughter and her mama, because they ain't trying to lose me. So I had to go. I wasn't in there that long, about an hour. Hey, you got tonsillitis. I'm gonna go ahead and give you this antibiotic. Took my paper down to my job. Hey, I'm out for 3 days. It's on record. There you go. Yeah, I'm feeling good, y'all. I'm feeling good. It was so it. I my tonsils was so bad. I made a roast on Sunday. I made a roast on Sunday, and I was upset that. I mean, I ate it. Don't get me wrong. I ate the roast. The roast was like another thing for soup for me, but I feel like I couldn't enjoy it that at that moment, and it was a damn good roast. And I'll be honest with you, it was the second time I made a roast in my life. It's the second time I made a roast in my life. So in other words, man, y'all, look, give it up for me. So yeah, I'm back at it. I'm back, and I'm shake the tail feather and everything. Something that my granny used to say. Um, Man, I ain't talking about getting nothing removed. I don't want nothing. That was my first time ever getting tonsillitis. First of all, and second of all, ain't nothing get removed off off my body unless the good Lord and the doctor speak in my ear and say, "Now get rid of that shit." uh, but other than that, man, other than that, Uncle said and Miss Veronica gonna get on everybody. They gonna let y'all know. Get the first, get the likes up. Second, get the subscribers up. Cause we are, I think, I'm 16 or 15 away from 2,100. And then third, get the donations up. That's what she gonna tell y'all. They gonna tell y'all that. I'm gonna be honest with you. They gonna tell you. All right. Coconut oil is good for everything, even with the hair. I don't like my hair being dry, so yeah. I might think about it. I might think about it. Hell, my 9-year-old got her tonsils removed. That's because she snores. um, so, uh, but other than that, y'all, um, we don't spend a whole bunch of time about giving shout outs and everything. But other than that, let's take one quick commercial break. Um, and we'll be right back, and we'll get into Jackson State football. What's needed to be known, and what we need to have coming up. Be right back.
Yo, it's your boy Doc Holiday with HBCU Overdrive, and I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically to design to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiasts.
All right, we had to take that little good commercial break. Shout out. Let me go ahead and give a shout out to my boy EA with the $10 donation. Uh, as always, like I said, it's one rattler. It's a couple of rattlers that I fuss with. Ain't ain't all like everybody else because I got some words for a couple of them. But I'm gonna keep it gangster in just a second. Um, but yeah, let's get into it. Jackson State football. This is something that we talk about this all the time, but it's coming up because spring game is coming up next week. Also, transfer portal opens up the following Monday on the 15th next week, the week after. Y'all know what I mean. So, um, I'm not gonna sit here and say who's in the portal because I don't know who's in the portal right now for Jackson State. But what to expect? Look, we done had. Uh, it's a good thing right now this year that we don't have a lot of a roster turnover like we did last year. That really kind of set us apart from a lot of other teams. The roster turnover was horrendous. What's going on, Miss Brianna? You didn't miss nothing. If you miss something, just go back and uh, um, hit the replay. So, what to expect? I mean, what to expect? So, things that I've seen what TC and this coaching staff has done, and also the coaching turnover is the turnover rate for the coaches is tremendous because we got to talk about that too. Um, getting in, first of all, getting in offensive lineman. Uh, that wasn't a major concern, but that was a major plus for us. Also, getting the quarterbacks to come in. One is QB of the future, which is Ethan Terrell, who is a freshman. I don't know if he's going to redshirt or not, but he is the quarterback of the future. Three, making sure Jacoby Morgan stays healthy. Is he's healthy before healthy when spring game comes around. He's doing spring practice, which is a good sign right there. He has to stay healthy. Uh, we all know last season he was projected to be the starter. He got hurt prior to coming into summer camp, and the job fell on to Jason Brown. No knock on JB for he did one hell of a job in to make sure that the team stays afloat. I had issues about the coaching. I had issues about uh, the play calling was a big issue for us on the offensive side. On the defensive side, it was I wouldn't call it a big issue, but uh, throughout the season, he made DC made um, tremendous adjustments in majority of the games, um, putting players in position so where they could succeed, and also just working with what we got, And I always say, look, we when it comes to football, when it comes to football, yes, you can have tryouts and stuff like that for positions that are needed the most, but uh, at the end, you still have to deal with what you have right now. Deal with what you got. So we need off defensive linemen on the ball. We got to go out there and get it. We got to go out there and get it. Uh, you knew that running backs was an issue. Um, we had to go out there and it's the next man up mentality. That's some type of mentality that we have to have in order to be a successful football club. All right. Um, what to expect? We got some players that did. We had some players that decided to jump in the portal and got their head on straight, and they jumped out, and they are back on the team. Uh, and hopefully that they can exude some leadership with not just their play on the field, but being vocal and just being an overall good teammate. If you really think, if you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm saying, being a good teammate. Um, Other than that, we hit on, like I said, we hit on a couple of positions: offensive line, quarterback. Of course, we got a couple of receivers. We got a couple of players that came in from the transfer portal. Some on the majority of them also on the defensive side. Uh, Especially getting a steal like this, getting Robert McDaniel to come from Alcorn, who had a stellar career at Alcorn, was an FCS All American on defense as a cornerback, to come back to Jackson, to come to Jackson, you know. In fact, let me rephrase that. To come back to Jackson and to play on one of the better defenses in the conference, and not just in the conference, in the nation. Uh, that DB unit is a killer. All right, so you got McDaniel coming in. So what does that do with K5 or Jalen Hughes? I mean, one could play the slot, the other gonna play outside. Robert could play the He can play the outside. He can play the slot. He can play inside. The man is durable. He can actually play safety if he wanted to. It all depends on what our new defensive coordinator wants to put out there. So I a couple of players did go into the portal. Um, Adrian Owens, yes, he went into the portal. Um, Also, Jalen Tate went into the portal, and um, dang, what's that kid? What's the kid's name? Tony McCray went into the portal. That's what I know of. I know it's a couple other players that did go in. I know some players that we did lose. Uh, we only lost one person on the offensive line, which was Deontay Graham. We returned 4 out of 5 offensive linemen, headlined by FCS freshman All American Quay Davis, bringing up the left tackle spot. Also, Evan Henry coming back for his last year. Um, I like what I see with that. I like what I see with that. And last but not least, um, getting a trio uh, offensive lineman from one high school. A trio of offensive linemen from one high school. At, that is Louisville High School. So Devin Love coming in, Ziggy Davis coming in, and trying to figure out the last one. I know it's three. I thought it was a trio, but I guess it was Ether coming in. That's the trio. Um. Oh yes, seven is. I don't know. If, yeah, seven McGee. He's gone. He's in the. I don't know if he's in the portal or not, but I mean I haven't heard word about that, but we shall see when the roster uh, um after the spring game. So, and just like you said, if you don't see players, they are not here. All right. Um. Other than that, other than that, positions that need to be concerned about, that I need to be concerned about, that all of us need to be concerned about, uh, is linebacker play. The linebacker position is a position that I feel like is needs to be talked about because um, our linebacker positions were horrible. We only had one player. kind of like one player that kind of shined, but he was in the sense he was a hit and miss also. In Isaac Peppers, but we have to get that position back up to par. We have to get it back up to par. Now, let's get into these coaches. Now, that's cool. Let's get into the culture turnover. All right. So the staff that you saw last season for Jackson State is not going to be the same staff that you see this season in 2024. When the ball is kicked off at 7 p.m. on Thursday night in Monroe against Louisiana Monroe, the coaching staff that you thought you're going to see from last season is not going to be the same for this season. So totally different, completely different. Now, I do have some questions. I do have some questions about um, certain coaches' positions. All right. So, um, offensive coordinator is the main concern. Now, there is reports out that we probably are going to get a new offensive coordinator after spring football. So be on the lookout for that. But for right now, um, but for right now, in TC we trust because TC is going to call the plays. All right. Okay. So let's get to this. Let's get this rundown. So Coach Maurice Harris was the offensive coordinator last season. He is no longer here. He took a director of football operations position at Auburn University under Hugh Freeze, which we already and since I figured that's where he was gonna go eventually because him and Hugh Freeze are tied at the hip. Um, they are tied at the hip, so you shall that what's gonna happen right there. Um, all right. Now, all right, Coach. Let's see, Coach Otis Ridley. He back. He's still an associate head coach. He's still in charge of the tight ends, but he has a new title under his belt, which is general manager. This man is going to be in charge of putting together the whole roster with input from other position coaches and also with input from TC himself. Uh, Coach O is going to be the one to put together this whole roster. Uh, Also, um, Coach Jonathan Bradley, he was defensive coordinator. Now, a lot of people kind of was leery about this because of the simple fact that he was the D line coach at Alcorn. Comes up, becomes defensive coordinator. I mean, he's learning from he learned from one of the best defensive coaching defensive minds in the SWAC with Cedric Thomas, and now he's in charge. He was in charge of the defense. Uh, what we call a 1 year rental. He took his talents down to Mobile to South Alabama, and he's going back to being the defensive line coach. So, so what does that mean for the defensive coaches, the defensive the defensive coordinator position? Well, if you really remember, Terenzo Quinn was, him and Terenzo Quinn was a package deal. Now, Coach Quinn was he was the DB coach, but he's also the co-defense coordinator. Now, he is the head man in charge of the whole defense, and also still is with the defensive backs. So he's not going to leave his straight up position with the defensive backs by himself. So now we got we got our defensive coordinator is pretty much filled out. Um, so yep. We got Eric Gallen coming in from I think he was at North Carolina A&T, if I'm not mistaken. He's the running backs coach now. Taquan Hammock was the linebackers coach / special teams coordinator. He took a position last week, this past week with LIU, Long Island University, with the Sharks, as the defensive coordinator also. So he's over there. All right. So that's another position that's going to be open right there. The linebackers position spot. Defensive run game coordinator and defensive line coach, Callie James. He comes in from the University of Florida as a grad assistant. And also, he has experience playing football. He was at Tuskegee. He's been at a couple of different places. I like what I see with him. He brings in a lot of energy to the defensive line. Because I think that some of the things that we missed on the D line, he brings it. He brings it out. Cornerbacks going to stay the same. Mario Magana. He's going to be the cornerbacks coach. Also, he should be I think he's also going to be the DB coach all around. So he's going to kind of take over the position that Coach Quinn had, and he's going to be in fact, I'll do that. Thank you. I'll do that. Let me get that going then. Yeah, with this software, I got to put in a whole bunch of. I had to put in a whole bunch of work with that software, with this software right here. So you have to excuse me on that. So while it's loading, um, make sure you hit the donation button. Again, shout out to EA for the $10 donation. Um, so let me go ahead and share the screen right here. Let me take this banner down for a second. All right, and I'm gonna spotlight this, and we good to go. So next time, Miss Veronica, I'm gonna do pictures next time. All right, so you you gonna get one from me. All right. All right, like I said, Terenzo Quinn, Callie James, Eric Gallen, Taekwon Hammett is gone to LIU Brooklyn. Uh, Mario Magana takes over the DB room. Wide receivers, so wideouts. The wideouts um, we had a revolving door when it came to wide receivers coach. This year we got Coach Vincent Marshall to come in. Like I said, he came in from Norfolk State University as the wide receivers coach with Dawson Odoms. Uh, he's also had an he also has an extensive football history as being one of the top all-time leaders in yards, catches, and touchdowns with the University of Houston. Also, uh, as a high school All-American at Ennis High School here in the DFW area. What up, Galen? Um, he's in record books as a receiver for Ennis High School. He was a part of the trio. That was a bad trio, y'all. I'm gonna just let you know. We talking about a guy that was only 5'7". He's only 5'7", y'all. That's a bad boy. Brandon Morton, he's a running was the running backs coach. Now um he moves over to recruiting coordinator. Let's remember that. He's a recruiting coordinator. Big Manny Ramirez. Everybody know this man's name. Of course, he played in the NFL with the Denver Broncos. Of course, he played at college at Texas Tech under the late Mike Leach. But this man was in charge of having one of the better offensive linemen in the conference, who also had one of the best running backs in the conference the last 2 seasons in Ladarius Owens. Now we plucked him from the third ward. He comes over to West Jackson. He's the run game coordinator, and he's also in charge of offensive line. Another name that everybody was very, very fond of, and we was talking about this position all together, y'all, was the let me switch this out. All right, there we go. So, like I said, another name, man, I can't call it, bro. And my classmate right there, Galen, right there, man. Another name and another position that we was talking about, the position that we needed was really in need of was special teams coordinator. Uh, we found one. and he's a fellow alum of the Jackson State University. He was a dog at the time he played here at Jackson State as a linebacker on the team. He also is in charge of the outside linebackers. We talk about Javante Jones. And we talk about a man that's coming in who led a stout defense over at Louisville High School in Louisville, Mississippi. All right. So we got something going over here, y'all. Caleb Graham is still here on the team. He's offensive analyst. Aaron Jackson is the defensive analyst. And Robert Kirk, which is Rip Kirk, that's his nickname. Rip Kirk is the QB coach. We still have Coach Mitchell, who's the offensive analyst and the video coordinator. So we have we have a pretty decent coaching staff right now. Now there's it's two like I said, it's two issues that I want to know. It's the linebacker position, linebacker coach position, and also the offensive coordinator. Now, I would say with the offensive coordinator position, that will be filled in. I think that will be filled in this after the spring game. So don't look for a lot of movement. Don't look for a lot of movement until after the spring game. And that's with any position. That's for any school. Not just Jackson State. Every school in the SWAC, CIAA, SIAC, in the MEAC. Wait till after the spring games and when the transfer portal opens. So when the transfer portal opens back up, I think I think they only have like a 2-week window, if I'm not mistaken. They only have like a 2-week window, and we gotta get it. Go in there and get the players that we need, and wait, because the roster is not going to be set after the game. Let's not. This is something totally different, like how it was before. Before transfer portal came about, when after the spring game, that meant your roster was set. Your roster was set. But now, since we have the portal coming in, we have the portal here, which is pretty much like 4 years in now. 4 years in, 4 or 5 years in now. What up, Square? You have to wait till after that transfer portal when it opens up, get what you need, and then you close. Oh, how was the game? How was the game? Yeah, Jay White, we travel here, son. We travel here. Oh yeah, Prince all day, every day, sir. Don't spit in my face. Let me see what the score was from that game. A&T season is over with now, so they lost 14 to Troy University, 89-75. What if they give a shout out to the Lady Aggies of North Carolina A&T. They had one hella tremendous season in the CAA. Uh, they was this close to get into the the NCAA tournament. But hey, it's all good though, and they should have a good team coming back next season. Uh, some more to be. Oh Lord. So let's go ahead and hit this commercial break, and we'll be right back, and we'll get into um what the hell Deion talking about. Be right back.
It's your boy Doc Holiday. Become a subscriber on HBCU Overdrive on YouTube, and you can follow me on all social media platforms at HBCU_Overdrive on Twitter and Instagram. You can catch me on TikTok at Holiday1925 and on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. Also, when you become an exclusive family member, you get all the membership perks. You get all the exclusive members only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and members only live chats. And also, you can get birthday shoutouts on here and win member when you become a subscriber. You can also hit the donation to the Cash App at HBCU Overdrive. You can hit the PayPal, David Smith 1925, and you can hit the Zelle, David E. Smith 30 at gmail.com. Remember, all proceeds go towards the channel, not the pocket.
All right, we back, y'all. So I want to get into this right here because excuse my language, but what the fuck is Deion talking about? What is he talking about? So if you don't know what's going on, if you don't know, he did an interview and he was kind of telling folks where his 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 biological son and his adopted son were going to be playing in the NFL next year. Now, um, let me go ahead and pull out that article because I want y'all opinion on this because what he said kind of it's gonna ruffle some feathers, right? It's gonna ruffle a lot of feathers, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can blow this up. But anyway, uh, let's get into it. Wait till this commercial go out.
I thought it was interesting that Deion Sanders said Shedeur and Travis Hunter won't play for some NFL teams. This is as it should be. I don't know why we're upset about this. This is exactly what it should happen. This is how it should happen. This is what it should be. Now, why would Coach Prime say this right now is a very good question. I answer this by saying the NFL draft is a month away, and both Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are going to be eligible for said NFL draft in 2025. They're going into an all-important year for them and Colorado as they embark on their, getting back to the Big 12 and hope to compete for a Big 12 title. But after going 4-8, we're still talking about this Colorado football team, and y'all still give a damn about what Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders are doing and what Coach Prime chooses to say about them. I don't get why you would expect folks would leverage not to use their leverage in where they would like to have their professional futures. To wit, if somebody gave you the option of doing your job in a sunny and nice place versus a wintry and let's say dark place, what would you choose? And that's about personal preference, right? If you're from Canada, you probably want to go up there where there's some hockey, right? If you're from Florida, like Prime, you want to go somewhere where it ain't going to be cold. Now, that said, right, I think that there are some franchises for which you would be very happy about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter ending up. Say, I don't know, the Atlanta Falcons, the Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, or all three places that Coach Prime played and places where he knows that these two players could thrive. Now, what will this do to their draft stock? Will it help or hurt? To which I say it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. I wrote about this last week at Fox Sports and on the Fox Sports app, and you should go check that out. But the point to raise here is Shedeur Sanders is in the conversation right now for QB1 in 2025. Other guys in that conversation include Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe. I keep going down the line, but I'm not going to because you get the point here, okay? We already know that he's good. The numbers that he put up at Jackson State are the same numbers he put up at Colorado in year one, setting the school record for passing, and he didn't even play 12 games last year. He played 11, and his offensive line was paper mache, okay? We're not even going to name them dudes because they got that man sacked 50-plus times and got a fractured back for him. So he's coming back from that. So that might be the only thing that I'm really interested in is what does he look like throwing a football? And then how does he look throwing a football this year with Phil Lodeholt running the offensive line and five-star Jordan Seaton probably going to start at left tackle as a true freshman. As for Travis Hunter, the question is whether or not that dude's going to go both ways. And I think that's really going to be up to him and Coach Prime. The way I look at this is Coach Prime's had so much to say and such a heavy hand in what Travis Hunter does and doesn't do. That's not to say that he is acting like that dude's daddy, but it wouldn't surprise me to find out that Hunter is the first and last opinion that matters, but also the Coach Prime's taking up all the space in the middle of that, right? So if we're thinking about this in as far as what the draft stock is, if Shedeur Sanders goes for 4,500 yards and 40-plus TDs, it's probably going to put him in the conversation for QB1, right? Not unlike Drake May versus Caleb Williams right now. I think with Travis, it's about, is he going to be playing wide receiver predominantly? Is he going to be playing defensive back predominantly? Does he want to play both? And, Prime could do both. He was that kind of player, and Prime believes that Hunter is that kind of player. We'll see about how that goes in the NFL because the NFL really does value the health of its players above all. So playing 100 snaps is probably not in the cards for Travis Hunter, no matter how good he is at playing both positions. But getting back to Prime saying that both Shedeur and Travis, and they say nothing to Shiloh, who's a good player but probably doesn't have this much leverage, are going to go or hold out for where they want to go, albeit sunny, right? Maybe a place that might be like Houston, might be like Dallas, somewhere close to home. I think you got to take a look at this the way that Prime went through the NFL draft in 1989. So Prime was selected 5th overall in 1989 by the Atlanta Falcons, but it was after he played a year as a walk-on at Florida State. Same year, he won the Thorpe Award as a walk-on. And the reason I keep saying he's a walk-on is because he signed a contract with the New York Yankees that made him ineligible for scholarship at Florida State, but it didn't matter. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite stories from his first book way back when is Coach Bobby Bowden going around the room during what would be Prime's last year in college football and asking players, why am I getting reports that y'all aren't going to class? Raise your hand if you have not been going to class, for which Prime was the first and only hand to go up in the air. And Bobby Bowden had to say, hey, that doesn't matter because that dude, he's over here on his own. He was only here to play football because he knew he was getting drafted the very next year. And not only that, Prime refused to take meetings with people that weren't going to select inside the top 10. Like, no, I'm going to be gone for that. Why would I take a meeting with you? That is how his get down has been from the very beginning And he has kept that get down after 14 years in the league, an illustrious career in TV, and now building a resume as a pretty outstanding college football coach. It's also about leverage and privilege. So Prime could have refused to play for, let's say, for the sake of argument, and pick a Northeastern team like the New England Patriots, who apparently have some kind of feelings about how a documentary about them has gone. Like documentaries that are good do go, right? They show us your laundry. They show us what you don't want us to know about. If he'd end up being selected by, let's say, the New England Patriots, then would he have held out? Probably. He didn't need the money. He didn't have to play football. He was already a New York Yankee, and he was already making a ton of money from marketing opportunities. The man bought a 5-speed transmission car without knowing how to drive a manual because he could just do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of y'all that can't drive a manual, but it ain't because you bought a manual car. It's, because my car is millennial proof, as I'm a millennial. I'm just going to throw that out there because it's got a 5-speed transmission in there. I got to use a clutch and all of this, right? I'm saying? Point here is that both Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter have the same opportunities here. They don't have to sign with whoever selects them. They could. They might. I dare say they should, because that's millions of dollars you leaving out there. And everybody wants to get behind you. That said, we've seen this before. And I'm tired of people acting as if Prime came up with this, because he did not come up with a lot of things. But he did not come up with the idea of saying, I won't play for you. I will hold out. No, did that first time that we ever heard about? John Elway, coming out of that Ivy League in the West Coast, who said, I'm not playing for the Baltimore Colts. I would sooner play baseball for the New York friggin' Yankees. And you know what happened? He ended up playing for the Denver Broncos. You know what happened when he got the Denver Broncos? He won 2 Super Bowls. All right. 2004, 19 years later, 21 years later, math, RJ, I'm an English major, math. 21 years later, we get to see Eli Manning and the Mannings, the first family of football, says, hey, I know that I'm coming out of the SIP. I know that I'm coming out of Ole Miss, which ain't won nothing ever, period. Just telling it like it is. Who said, I'm not playing for the then San Diego Chargers. It will not happen. Y'all can take me, but you're going to be wasting a pick, because I will just sit here on my hands rather than play football for you. What happened? 45 minutes before draft start, they traded that pick to the New York Giants. Chargers go and take Phillip Rivers. Turns out to be pretty good for them, because Phillip Rivers had a pretty damn good career in the NFL. But you know what the Giants got? 2 Super Bowls out of Eli Manning. And when he goes in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and he will, he's going in as a Giant, right? Not bad for a guy that held out. Now we're getting back around to a couple players already saying, hey, look, there are some of y'all that we simply don't want to play for. Now, I think it is smart not to name names in all of this. But the point to be raised is, you care that Coach Prime says 13 months before either one of these players is going to be selected, where they may or may not be playing before they have finished their college football careers. I still marvel at just how much people show up to hear what Prime has to say and to see what these players are doing. I don't think it is a coincidence that Shedeur Sanders shows up from Jackson State to Colorado, a team that has won a national championship but ain't got that much more claim than Ole Miss. You get what I'm saying here? And he has the best-selling jersey in college football in 2023. As a matter of fact, the only athlete in college sports to outsell Shedeur Sanders in jerseys is Caitlin Clark. And many people would tell you she is in another stratosphere, and as far as what her superstardom can bring her and the University of Iowa, to say nothing of what it's meaning for the Iowa Hawkeyes to be on a run, we hope, with a collision course with South Carolina in some capacity, because that's just going to be outstanding. I mean, what Don Staley and them Gamecocks is doing is ridiculous. What Caitlin Clark has been doing is ridiculous. I would think we would all like to see that game played. I'd also add here, none of the quarterbacks that I mentioned here, John Elway nor Eli Manning, needed the money. Shedeur Sanders does not need money. Travis Hunter bought his mama a house, and he is fine, right? Another dude that is country like you read about, but got his bread correct. I think talking about him this way. It's kind of like talking about what Caleb Williams was doing when, can we get an ownership share from the team that wants to select him, to which the owner goes, absolutely not, right? And you get this, and I get this. But that he's asking, you understand, this is where we are. It's not player empowerment, right? I think people are using that phrase incorrectly, and I think they've been using it incorrectly for some time. It doesn't necessarily make a place like the NBA, for instance, better, but it does make sure that we are paying attention to what they have to say, right? Turns out LeBron James, like the rest of us, he starts a podcast, and all of a sudden he wants us to listen. It's the same difference, right? Can you say it at a time when people care? And what's going on? So Prime is saying all this in March when people are just starting up with spring football and famously are not marketing to their audience. I'm always astounded at how football coaches don't want to tell media or fans a damn thing about what they are doing in the spring, as if it's really going to show up in the fall. And if it does, why are you afraid of this? Coach Switzer used to practice Oklahoma in front of Nebraska. Say, we know what we're running. We know what you're running. Bring it. Coach Switzer also understood media. Showed up to recruit Marcus Dupree in a fur coat in Mississippi. Philadelphia, Mississippi, where it's hot and it's humid. But
I can only stomach enough for this guy right here. But anyway, y'all, look. I can only stomach that. I can only stomach so much. He's good, but he ain't that good. So, he's saying, so Deion said, like he said, y'all heard the video. Deion said, like, look, my boys ain't playing in certain places. But the only leverage that he had, that they have, and I'm be honest with you, they really don't have no leverage. So what he said about with Eli, right? Eli Manning, at the time in 2004 when he got drafted, the San Diego Chargers did hold the first pick. San Diego at that time, y'all, was ran horribly. You see how blah, 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 blah sound like Porky Pig up in here. They was ran horrible for some years. We talking about the team that drafted Ryan Leaf, and out from the jump, he was a bust. So what does Eli and Archie do? I mean, and you gotta realize Peyton was already in the league. Peyton was in the league for 6 years already. They was like, we not going there. We don't want, if you draft us, if you draft me, trust me, I'm not showing up to training camp. I'm not showing up to OTAs. I'm not showing up to the rookie symposium. I'm not doing none of that stuff. I would sit my happy tail in New Orleans and see if I could become a compensatory draft pick, right? A supplemental draft pick. Sorry about that. But like I say, at the 11th hour, the Giants and the Chargers pulled the trade. The Chargers got Phillip Rivers, who, like I said, who had a hell of a season. I mean, hell of a run with San Diego, the Chargers all together. And also, it was kind of crazy because they said, let me rewind that. It's kind of crazy because he said that he don't want to play for the Chargers, but they had Drew Brees as their quarterback. All right. And they had some guy, some running back. He modeled his game after another certain Hall of Fame running back. named Sweetness. But this running back that I'm talking about, he go by the nicknames LT, LaDainian Tomlinson. It wouldn't matter to me. It wouldn't matter to me. But the organization was kind of ran poorly. They felt like it was ran poorly. I think they had switched over ownership at the time. I got to read back up on that because it's over 20 years ago. So it got to the point where they didn't want to go there. They pulled the trade. Phillip Rivers to the Chargers. Eli went to the Giants. And I think I'm gonna be honest with you with the Eli situation. He wanted to be more in a more bigger market, which the New York market is very big. The San Diego market is combined with the LA market, Southern California, but at that time it really wasn't all that great. But um, Phillip Rivers played, I think, 18, 19 years in the league. He got 11 kids out of it. No Super Bowls. Got plenty of Pro Bowls, but no Super Bowls. And then with Eli, he played 16 years in the league, and got 2 Super Bowls out of it. And both of them were on some lucky ass plays. So when it comes down to what Deion is doing, he's basically telling folks, look, Shedeur is we trying to get Shedeur as the number 1 draft pick for next year. Top 4, top 5. Probably. He wants Travis to be top 5, top 10. But I don't see that I mean, I can see it being top 10, but you're not going to dictate where you want to go. And what he was talking about with Caleb Williams from USC, he doesn't want to play. He doesn't want, if Chicago gets the first pick, which they do have the first pick, he doesn't want to go play in Chicago. He wants to go play somewhere else. But what kind of leverage do you have, sir? In these rookies, these dudes that's coming out in the draft, what leverage do you have coming out in the draft? Because to me, on the real, it's like this. You have kind of no say so about where you get drafted. Now, if you want to be an undrafted free agent, you have all the places in the world you want to go to. Go right ahead, but that ain't happening. We know that's not happening. Not a snowball chance in hell it is happening that they become undrafted free agents. These dudes gonna be either, top 10, top 15 in draft next season. And what if Travis don't? Let's put another caveat out there. What if Travis Hunter don't come out next season? What are you gonna do then? And some people saying, well, he doesn't want to play in cold weather team, but you do know that doesn't matter where you drafted. The season starts in September, August, September. It's still gonna be warm, still gonna be hot, and then that autumn wind comes in and the weather changes, right? So where does he? Where would you think Shedeur and Travis will play? So I will say this. They want Shedeur to play in the South. He want to play in the Southern team. He wants to be not just in the South. He wants to be in a big market, preferably like whoever needs a QB. Whoever's going to be in search for a QB, that's where Shador is going to get drafted to. And then it's another thing. I was watching the Raw Room. Shout out to them. Uh, and I watched them on their podcast, and my boy the bro Darren Bass said, "Ain't no damn way in the world you gonna tell these white folks what to do with they damn draft pick, they damn money. Ain't no way." What he said, and he said in a little bit more vulgarity, but he said that there's no way that these white folks, the owners, the general managers, are going to sit there and basically say kiss his ass about where he gonna play at, because in the end, wherever you get drafted at, that's where you going. The only like what he said about with John Elway, his thing was he had something to fall back on. John Elway played baseball, so John Elway was like, if Baltimore, John Elway was like, Baltimore, you draft me, I'm going to go play baseball. That basically what was going on with John Elway. He said, if you draft me, I'm going to go play baseball. Some other players at the time had some pull like that. Mainly Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. They was like, in a sense, they didn't want to say that, but they had a fallback sport. If they didn't like the situation they was in, they could go play baseball. I mean, baseball, look, it's not that much injury. You got fully guaranteed contract and no salary cap in baseball. Yeah, Charlie Ward went to the NBA. Charlie Ward played basketball and went in football. They said, Charlie, you're not going to be a quarterback. We want you to play. I think they say you want him to play receiver or defensive back. He's like, nope, I'm going to take my talents on this hardwood. And he got drafted by the Knicks. So, in a sense, they're like, well, he go play for the Cowboys. Now, I don't see him coming to the Cowboys. I don't see Jerry Jones kissing nobody's ass like that and going to the Cowboys, because he know what he needs for his team to try to succeed and try to build a championship team. The 49ers. You think he going to go over there to the 49ers and take Brock Purdy's spot? Hell no. The man was just in the Super Bowl this past season. That ain't happening. The Falcons. Now, I will say something about the Falcons, but Matty, but Kirk Cochains, aka Kirk Cousins, is starting QB for Atlanta. So that ain't happening nowhere. What's another place you go to? What's another place? Because you're gonna go to a place where they need a QB. If they ain't got a QB issue, you ain't going there. Travis Hunter, on the other hand, he is prime time. He is box office. I sound like Stephen A. Smith, but he is both of those right there. Now, his issue is he is not as durable that people think he is. He played 6 games at Jackson State his freshman year. Last year, he missed 3 games because of the lacerated liver, and he was more primarily on the offensive side of the ball instead of the defensive side of the ball. But when he played on that defensive side of the ball, he did show flashes. But when he also played against Stanford, he got cooked for damn near 300 yards by one person. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Blue up in here. Atlanta, he said the Falcons just paid Kirk 180 mil for a 4-year deal. They ain't drafting no QB in the first round next year. That ain't happening. You can say the Cowboys can come in and say something, but I don't think the Cowboys want to say, because it's either they're gonna go after Michael Penix, who he killed on his pro day, and you still have Trey Lance, and I don't see us re-signing Dak for an extension, because there's other areas on our team that we need help as far as position wise. Offensive line, we got to make sure the offensive line is going to be turning over, because Tyron Smith is gone. He's gone to the Jets. He was older. He's gone to the Jets. So we gotta make this offensive line a little bit younger. Linebacker spot, Van Der Esch, he retired, neck injury. So we got to replace the linebacker. We got to put somebody in the place where Parsons doesn't have, he can play with his hand under there if he wants to. He can stand up as a outside rush. You know what I'm saying? But right now, if I'm Prime, don't say nothing. And last but not least, you need to worry about your football team. You the head coach. I understand that you his father, and Travis, you his adoptive father. But at the end of the day, what's up, Craig? My boy Craig. At the end of the day, you still got a football program to run. Yeah, I don't know who. Hey, Timona. I don't know who Kirk Cousins' agent is, but that man done had over $300-something million in guaranteed money. And hey, if you're a DDR, go ahead. If you're a Deion Dick Rider, come on. I need some money. Put your money where your mouth is. Donate to the program. And AT, I ain't got them winning 6 games. I got them winning 5. No bowl game. Hey, don't zap them. Let them survive. I mean, Mr. Roy, let Prime talk. Archie Manning did for his son, so did John Elway father. We always hating on each other. Reason we can't advance. That doesn't have anything to do with what he talking about. Eli they did not want to go to San Diego because it was poorly ran. He wanted to be in a bigger market. So what they do? Backdoor channel, come up with this trade. They traded picks. So instead of Eli going to San Diego, they get Phillip Rivers. The Giants get Eli Manning, and the rest is history. And with John Elway father didn't have nothing to say about that. It was John Elway. He didn't want to play for Baltimore. Why? Because it was poorly ran. And second of all, they left the year after to go to Indianapolis. And guess what? He said, I'm sitting out. If you draft me, I'm sitting out. I'm playing baseball. He could have went, and John Elway could have went to the USFL. He could have went to Canada. and played in the league up there, he had different spots of where he wanted to go play at. So let's not saying, well, we don't advance because of the simple fact that we tend to block people, to block the blessings of other black folks. Let's stop that bullshit, y'all. I'm sorry. Excuse me for my language. Let's stop the bullshit. Let's stop the bullshit. Prime has yes, as a father figure, he has every reason to say what he want to say. But right now, as a football coach, he needs to sit his happy ass down and figure out how he's going to turn his team from a 4-8 squad to a squad that can get bowl eligible. His spring game is coming up. Let's not sit here and talk about we down in the dude. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. He gonna talk. But the simple fact is, those like I said, those white people ain't gonna, the white people that own an NFL team is not gonna take anything from what this man say. If the Miami Dolphins say, or let's not say the Miami Dolphins, let's just say the Buffalo Bills say we want to go ahead and move away from Josh Allen and we're gonna draft Deion Sanders. Guess what? You ain't got no damn choice but to go to Buffalo and be tried to win a starting quarterback job. Or I would say Detroit, but they play in the dome. A team like Chicago. Caleb Williams don't want to say he don't want to play in Chicago. Okay. So how about you go be the quarterback back in your hometown in Washington, D.C. and see how that come about? Because I feel like the Bears have a better put together team than the Washington Commanders does right now. Who else is going to be looking for a quarterback? Okay, Matthew Stafford might be on his last leg, understandably so. I can understand that. Cool with that. If he want to stay in Southern Cal, he go to the Rams. They might be looking for a QB. You know, they might be looking for a QB. He go to Arizona. They might be looking for a QB. You know, he ain't going to Green Bay. They got a QB out there, Jordan Love. He balled last season. Green Bay knew what the hell they doing. They've been doing it for the last 30 years. But what other teams need a QB right now? What other team for the year 2025 is going to be looking for a QB? Of course, you're going to say Dallas, but like I said, Trey Lance is going to be the one. I feel like Trey Lance is going to try to compete for that job. You don't trade pick away. You don't trade some picks like that to get this kid up in here. So that's my opinion. So let's stop with that talk right there. I'm gonna be honest with you. That gets me upset. He needs to worry about coaching the 2024 Colorado Buffaloes. He needs to worry about making sure that Oh no, the Buccaneers don't need a new one. They just Veronica, they just paid Baker Mayfield a boatload of money. he Baker Mayfield played last season, gave him his contract for this season. Uh I mean, who needs a quarterback? But like I said, Deion needs to worry about his offensive line. Blue. He balled last season. He threw for 4,000 yards last season. I think he had like 30 touchdowns. He cut his interceptions down, uh, better than what it was when he was in Cleveland. Um, so that's what I mean. That's what I like. That's what I like to see. He just needs to worry about coaching his football team and let when the time comes for Shador and Travis to declare for the NFL draft in 2025, let that happen naturally. And here's another thing I don't like right here. You saying this for your youngest son and a kid that ain't even yours, but you ain't saying shit for your middle son, Shiloh. Like, for real, you ain't saying nothing about your other son, Shiloh. Shiloh gonna be a day 2, day 3. You ain't even hype your other son up as a strong safety, free safety. Come on now. Well, Tamona Baker, you say Baker was mid, but he was a stopgap. He wasn't going to be there for long. I'd rather have Baker Mayfield be your starting quarterback than Sam Darnold. That's just my opinion. And he know, yeah, I'm afraid he knows that Charlotte might not even be drafted. So I mean, that's his kids right there. It is what it is. That's his kids. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Shoot. But if I'm Shador, I'm like this, Dad. Look, you look. Let me decide where I want to go and who wants to draft me. Let this be about my moment, and you just sit back and just smile for the cameras and stuff like that. Let this be about me, not you. You had your time in the sunshine, in 1989. All right. Let this be about me this year, this time, not you. But other than that, uh, one more commercial break from a sponsor. Be right back. We got some more HBCU news coming up.
Yo, it's your boy Doc Holiday with HBCU Overdrive. And I am proud to sponsor Merch Sports. Check out his new line of collection, the Black College Football Fan Club collection. It's basically to show support and give respect to the rich history and tradition of black college football. And as you already know, the best college players had to play at HBCUs before integration. So go ahead, and check it out over at shopmerchsports.com. Merch Sports. Merch for the sports enthusiasts.
All right, we back. And last but not least, we have what's in store for HBCU Overdrive. We got news and announcements of coming shows and football games. So, like right now, we are in the midst of, we have an interview. I have a casual conversation with Dr. Kiki Baker Barnes of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, commissioner of the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference. She will be on the show midday at 11 o'clock on Monday. So y'all be up for that. Second, we are still in the work. We went on for the link to come up so I could go ahead and get that filled out for Swag Media Day. So we'll be working on getting back to Birmingham. So in the meantime, we're going to be trying to do some little bit of fundraising here and there so we can get myself, get back into Birmingham and with no issues, no hiccups on the way there and back. And also upcoming shows. So as I'm trying to plan out my itinerary and trying to plan out my finances, always my first game on the list I shall be going to this year. It will be in Prairie View Labor Day Classic. Labor Day Classic, Prairie View, Texas Southern. So be doing that, and then of course going to hit a couple of more Jackson State games. Now this kind of changes my this kind of changes the trajectory on this because the simple fact that the first game of the season got moved to Thursday night instead of Saturday. The game is going to be Thursday night at Malone's Stadium in Monroe, Louisiana, against University of Louisiana at Monroe. So make sure everybody get their tickets. And for me, if I go, it's number like about a 4-hour drive for me. Those that are in the Jack, they ain't no but an hour and a half drive down the road. It should be no problem. Everybody should be able to pack out that rinky-dink ass stadium. So make sure y'all, get your tickets ready. Because we coming and you gonna hear us. We gonna be loud. We gonna be boisterous. We gonna be everything what your mama say and what your daddy try to tell you to warn us about. But other than that, we do got, like I said, we got football games. So like I said, I'm gonna try to see if I can make it to the Boombox Classic. I know that's in Jackson this year. I know we go to the Hole in Grambling. October the 19th against Florida A&M. That is a must. November the 2nd, homecoming against Pine Bluff. That is a must. And, of course, the SWAC championship game. Hopefully, we trying to make it back. We trying to put it in the Jack, so that'll be an easier drive for me. Don't get me wrong. I love traveling, y'all. I love traveling. I love going to different places. I love travel when I traveled to Tallahassee in December. That was a good one. But we trying to make sure this trip stay a little bit shorter than what it is. So other than that, those are trying to get my football games that I'm trying to go to. I got to get in touch. I'm trying to get in touch with AD Paul Bryant because I want to go to the Magic City Classic. Somebody, Jay White, I know you still in the chat. Get me to the MCC. And to Norman, Mississippi. Yes, I want to. Yes, for the Soul Bowl. Uh, that's the last one. Um, and y'all, hey Jay White, for real, for real, get me to the MCC. I need some press credentials. Talk to your boy Paul Bryant. Talk to your boy AD Bryant. Let him know I'm trying to be in that thing, man. I want to experience the pageantry of the Magic City Classic. You know, I don't want to go to the Bayou Classic. You know that I've been in New Orleans plenty of times, but I want to go to the Magic City Classic. Get reservations early again early. Hey, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I hope y'all have an actual football team that want to play. Oh, the Harvey Gill game, the game, that is a bucket list game right there, bro. That is a bucket list game. I like that. Yeah, just stay warm. I want, in fact, for the game on October the 19th, for all my Rattlers, it is nothing but a 5-hour drive from Tallahassee to Jackson, Mississippi. I want y'all to feel the other side up so we can make this. If you want it to be a game, bring your happy ass to Jackson, Mississippi. I'm gonna let them come on there. Hey Jay White, I'm gonna let AD Bryant come back on here. But got to come to the game. I don't bring the 102. So we could so it could be a true band battle and we could blow your ass out the damn stadium. On the field, in the stands. But hey, those are the announcements. That's what we got going coming up. Uh we will be start doing the drive to Birmingham. We'll be starting up. Um we'll be starting up very soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. That way we can go ahead and get that going. Um, we get that going. Oh, they better. Hey, Miss Veronica, don't tell me they can't afford to bring that band. They better go ahead and sell some goddamn fish plates. They better bring some fish plates up in there. Sell some fish plates. Sell some. Get you some hot wing plates. Whatever you know. What I'm saying. Better tell Mr. Campbell to roll up in that roll up in the Escalade. And that is true. Is a true story. He do have an Escalade sitting on them things, y'all. Go ahead and send the bundles, man. But other than that, everybody like y'all. Everybody, I appreciate everybody for rocking with me tonight. On both Twitter and on YouTube. So make sure that you like the stream, comment, share, subscribe, hit the donation button. Again, shout out to my boy EA for sending in the donation. He's the only one that sent the donation in tonight. So shout out to him. So Miss Veronica gonna tell y'all better pull out your money. She gonna tell you. Miss Veronica, go on and let them know. Go on and remind them. Go on and remind Miss Veronica. Y'all see what she said? I'm put, and she meant, and she stand on business with that. She said, send by right now, not right now, but right now. She do not play about that. Y'all want this good content? She gonna tell you, send them, run them ducats. But anyway, it is a little bit. It's 7 minutes after 9. The big fan, Ken and Zoe, TD, they all on right now. So we gonna mosey our way on to the other side. Um, and again, I appreciate everybody for rocking with me tonight. I'm your boy Doc Holiday. This has been another episode of HBCU Tonight, brought to you by HBCU Overdrive. Make sure you like this stream. Make sure that you comment, share, and most of all, subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. Hit me up on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter. You can also hit me up on Facebook under my real name, David E. Smith Douglas. And you can also hit me up on TikTok. So I'm about to start doing some TikToks, and I'm going to start doing some more Instagram. So hit me up on Instagram too. But make sure y'all tune in. Make sure you check out other shows on replay. Support me, support myself, support my home, my sis, She Loves D. Support all HBCU content creators up in this thing. And like she said, no excuses. Miss Ron gonna tell you no excuses. Yes, I said my real name. That's my real name. So, and I'm damn proud of it, y'all. But always, man, look, y'all be blessed. Y'all stay safe. Hug your loved ones. And man, stay dangerous, bro. We out this thing. Peace.